Williams by Cripps. Bread for taste.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Tubes Taylor here with you with Duff TV, joined in the commentary box by Andrew the Silver Fox Hopwood. Morning, Hoppy. A big day of footy today.
Oh, Tubes, we're up and about. It is the start of what is a huge few weeks. It is STJFL finals time, and we're starting with the under-14C as these young kiddies are lining up. Tubes, it's nearly 4,000 kiddies running around week in, week out. The biggest football competition in Tasmania, out in front of our eyes. This is the future of football.
This is what it's all about, Hoppy, and I tell you what, the last day in September. Happy Father's Day to all those out there today as well, watching on the live stream and watching this in replay. Huge day of footy ahead. We've got a few games coming up. It's the Southern Storm taking on Claremont in the final game for the under-14Cs this year. We're just waiting here for the national anthem to get underway.
Don't they look resplendent, these young troops? They look fit, they look fired, they look up and about. As the CEO Supremo, Tony Gibson's just coming out and he's saying, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll add this in post.
We are going to have to do that a little bit later. I'm just looking at is that John Farnham just lead? He might have had a throat infection, John.
He's hung it up. He's hung up the boots voice. Finally, the voice is done. So no national anthem, but the game is about to get underway, Hoppy. Now, these two sides have met a few times over the journey this season, and it's been pretty tight.
What about that second semi-final, Tubes? It was Southern Storm 10-4-64, just getting their nostrils in front of a gallant dog outfit at 8-7-55.
Yeah, you'd say the Storm are going to go in, Hoppy, favourites to this game in the under-14C STJFL Grand Final. And there he is, the captain, Caleb Burgess, for the Southern Storm. He's out there ready with the umpires tossing the coin. And Cooper Lockley for the Doggies heading out there to toss the coin as well.
Gee, we've got some experienced campaigners out there in the iridescent green, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
So there'll be no pulling the wool over umpires' eyes today as the toss has been, and the Storm have won the toss and they're kicking towards the Darren Perry end.
That's true. We must, of course, thank our sponsors today for making it possible. Hello out there to Huon Delivery Service. If you need something delivered down the Huon, go and see them. Duggins, of course, the big company down there with their premix concrete. The Huon Valley Community Bank. Mitchell Plastic Welding, and Di and Kai Gordon. Hello to you. For the Claremont boys, we've got Wombats Recycling. Well,
there he is.
There he is.
The Wombat. And we saw him out early this morning. I was out in the Claremont area. I thought I'd just get a feel for the game.
Yep.
So I went out to Claremont Village and I saw a couple of your Wombat recycling trucks on the tear around the area, recycling any of the used material out in the Claremont district.
Working on a Sunday too, Hoppy.
But they were making sure that they were going to get to North Hobart by 12 o'clock. And there is your Storm lineup.
Yeah, there's some really superstar names through that bunch, isn't there? Duggan, Holton, Polly, of course, down there. And what about the number 7? Burgess is the captain. He's one to watch. But number 71, how do you say that one, Hoppy?
Yes, Fulamarik Silasung.
Silasung, that's it.
We are very much looking forward to that young chap go round. And here is your dog lineup as they are going out. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see how they line up, whether the coaches make any last-minute changes. A little bit of rain has come, Tubes, just before that game, because traditionally they go in with that sort of circa 2000 Brisbane lineup with your two power forwards. So it's going to be fascinating to see how they do line up in the big one, given it has been a little bit of rain.
Yeah, they got the 6-6-6 lineup as well ready to go, and a grand final is up for the taking here in the STJFL under-14C. Southern Storm taking on Claremont here at the spiritual home of football, streaming across the globe on Duff TV. And we're just waiting for the umpires to get themselves sorted. I think that might be Rowan down in the Horrig Orange end. He's just getting his lineup sorted. And the game about to get underway as the umpires doing their final count. And there's the siren. Andrew Hopwood, take it away.
So umpire Geeson holds that ball aloft. Nice square shoulders. Up they go. The bid men go in. That was a really nice tap out there by Lockley. Gets it out. He's seen something early, and he likes to play those free kicks early just to settle it down and tell the people I'm in charge. It's skidding. Stacks on the mill. Nice handball out. There'll be some nervous, afraid, jingled edges. It's close towards that boundary line. Going really hard, is it? There's still a sung. We got that one out nicely there, Tubes, yeah. And there's been another whistle. Might have been taken just a little bit too high.
A little bit high, and maybe a 50-metre penalty too, perhaps. Yeah, the umpire Geeson's just pulled it out there, and that one will go 50 metres down towards the Brooker Street end. Well, Brooker, we'll just see this on the replay. Copped a little bit high there was Zachy Clifford, and he's got the 50-metre back to the centre wing. He'll take it, send it long to his half-forward position, going back with a flight. That was Silasung. Couldn't quite tag it. Now it comes out for the Bulldogs. Quick kick away and clearing it into the middle of the ground. He's going to find his teammate there who just let it slip through his fingers. Very hot cake of soap there as he goes through the sand pit. Nicely picked up and handballed off by the Storm. Quick handball came out looking for Walter. Working it nicely down there is Pavletich. It comes out to the stack head. Handballed off nicely to Paramore. Paramore quickly kicks them forward. Oh, through the falcon of Jackson Flack, and it goes through from behind. A great hot start here, Hoppy.
Oh, it certainly was. Flack went up, and you could see just that little bit of slipness on the old onion, went straight through to the bonce and got him on the hooter. And but he's a tough man out there as the ball comes back. Picking it up nicely there was Johnson, goes further afield, but making a nice strong mark and not mucking around is Clark. Clark going forward. No lead coming out. There's an opportunity. It comes back further afield to Thorpe. Thorpe goes in towards the bow. Oh, has it gone over? I think he's knocking that one through. Let's have a look at it. It's all clear. They are up and about. Ryan Jager, the opportunist goal at the bottom of the pack, has put that one through Tube.
And that's what he's there for, Hoppy. He's an opportunistic type player, young Jager. And it was a ripper. We'll see this on the Mood Food replay. Have a look at this, just through the fingertips. That slippery onion, and as you said, Hoppy, the cake of soap. And Jager, hot spot, umpire in the right spot, goal.
Well, that's what we just sort of mentioned, Shoes, with me, about going in with that big forward line. As long as those big forwards can bring it down, and that's where your Jagers of the world are going to be dominant in this sort of weather.
So back in the middle, Hoppy. As we've heard through the whispers that the voice, he's done. He's head back. He's off. Anyway, so the Storm. Pavletich going long forward, trying to find Thorpe. The handball came over the top. Now it's a rolling ball. Defensive pressure is huge. Thorpe again, handballed over the top. Jager's going to have two in a minute.
What about the little man there at the bottom of the pack? But didn't you love the work of Jackson Thorpe? He is presenting, Tubes.
Just go, go, go from Thorpe. How about Jager? He would have been nervous as this morning. He's got his hands on the footy straight out of the middle from the Storm. Great work, but as you say, Jackson Thorpe just kept going and going. That handball there that came out by Dylan Paramore was good to space. Clever touch. Thorpe went back again. Jager at the back.
You can see what he did there, Tube. Sorry about that, mate. But it was Holbrook who was playing on him. Yeah. And he decided, do I go, do I stop? And he went for the ball. Right maybe decision. When he looks at the replay, and of course the opportunist, Jager, just said, I'll have a bit of this. He got into some space, and away he went as the ball has gone back up into the centre. Gee whiz, that's brought this game alight. There is no doubt about that as Lockley goes up. But have a look at the Storm. They are on fire. Goes forward. Nice play by the Dogs. They clear across half back. They just bludgeon that ball straight through the centre of the ground, but running off. That is magnificent. Coming from, look at that. That's all a bit Irish.
Clever touch.
It was a clever touch. Go back inboard to the corridor. And this is where they've been good to Pavlich. Now towards that centre half forward position with Thorpe. He has been amazing so far, presenting and bringing it down for his forward. A little bit in the back, I think, that one. And it'll be Sinclair who'll take the free kick.
Yeah, good effort by Sinclair to get to the front position there. He'll take his kick just forward of centre. We'll see that, just a little push in the back there. Umpire Geeson just doing the right thing, getting behind his mark. He'll play on quickly. Sinclair sends it up towards his half forwards. Going back with a flight, that was courageous. Jager's in there again. Quick touch off the ground. Now it's picked up by your man Holbrook, who gets it away, and the doggies should clear this momentarily, at least for the time being. Out to centre wing, bouncing ball. The Storm get their first, doggies arrive en masse. Quick handball came out. Now that's a clever touch over the top by Collings. Can't quite get a hold of it. There he is, Clark from half back. Sends it down towards his forwards. No one there though. And Meredith will take the mark.
Yeah, nice work by Meredith. He decided to leave his man, go towards the centre of the ground. And the interesting thing with the Dogs at the moment, they just need to steady, get the blinkers off and look for a man. They're probably under pressure and they're just blazing away, as alluded to on that particular kick. But that's a lovely passage of play. They get it out towards the running player. That might have been Dare. It goes in towards the goals. It's going to run through. It depends if it was touched. Umpire Rowan, he won't miss a mistake. Have a look at this, the old champion. Oh, clear! There's another goal. This game is really gone to another level as Lachlan Dare put that one through from downtown.
Just an incredible handball in there. I think it might have been Denzel Washington. We'll see this in the replay. A great goal by the Doggies. Somehow it got through. Let's have a look. A huge kick.
He was on 50, Tubes.
Yeah, Lockie Dare.
And he has put that one through very, very nicely, rolling end over end. And Claremont get their first shot on goal for full reward inside 50 for the first time. They are 1 goal straight, 6 to the Southern Storm, 2-1-13. It is a sense of a grand final. There is no doubt about that. As running hard and applying pressure was Jones, who's been good so far, the big strong body. Here are the forwards trying to keep that ball in at all cost. As we've alluded to now, they go the pressure, but it comes back to Dare. We know he's got a bit of pace about him. He stretches, he goes long. There they are, they spoil. It comes back over the back. Chapman picks that one up. He goes towards the safety of the line, but there is no safety as Blackwell takes the mark.
Yeah, Blackwell's taken the mark
50
here. And 50, maybe. No, umpires called him right onto the mark. He had pace behind the footy, so that's okay. Blackwell's going to take his kick. He'll send it up long, down towards his big forwards, over the back. Good mark. Pushing the back, you think, Hoppy? Yep. Well called. You saw it, and it'll be a free kick going to the Storm.
Yeah, it was Curtin who just got caught behind, so he decided to push him out. Look at the 3 Dogs in the old back pocket there. We're just waiting for it to come over with the slippery ball. But it's the big man now, Jones. Jones, he's been a colossus all season for the Dogs. They love him out there as he arches the back, and a big, long, raking kick. Not a lot of science into their forward thrust, but they've got the big men and then the small ones down closely towards when the ball hits the ground, and it will be a boundary throw in. It's interesting to compare the way they're going forward, Tubes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The Dogs just seem to be blasting away, getting it forward, forward entries. Maybe that's the coach that's decided to do it that way. So ruck contest, no one went up for the Storm. Quickly kicked forward by Robinson. It's going to the hot spot, which is at the top of the square, tapping the ball forward. The Storm just trying to get it clear of the area. They arrive, and now with pace through the middle, the haircut, the human haircut, gets his long roost down towards his half forward line. Here he is, Jaeger got his handball away. Was that a throw? Umpire in the wrong spot. Out it comes now for Eves, who sends it long over the top behind.
Well, you can see there that Jaeger did the right thing. It was a very, very quick sleight of hands. I could see him on the stage in Las Vegas doing some hand tricks there, and he got it out without anyone seeing, got piled of it into the ground. But, oh, look out, got a little bit excited there, thought he'd go round, was Dare. We know he's got good pace, but I wouldn't like to be trying on from that back pocket area. So now he does get it. I think that haircut has come back a bit more with the... have a look at it. Here's another one there. A little bit extra down the back there, yeah, Tubes. You and I are old-fashioned.
Oh, that's a big hit. And it comes out now for the Doggies. Just sold some candy, went backwards towards his teammate down there. Meredith's going to get a hold of it. He'll just clear the area with a big around-the-corner kick. Just held without it, but out comes this man. He's doing really well off the half-back line for the Storm. The ball now hits the half-forward here. Big tackle laid on Nichols. Out it comes, it squirts out the back, kicked off the ground nicely down there by Dyrene. Actually, I beg your pardon, that's your man Thorpe. He's going to be beaten by the boundary line. Johnson push him over the line.
I just really like the way Thorpe is presenting. He's going to be a handful. There's a couple of helmets down there, and one is your Thorpe. But he's presenting, and if he doesn't get it, he's certainly bringing the ball down to give his forwards every opportunity. So he's a very, very mobile centre-half forward. It comes back towards Johnson. Johnson just soccers that one out. and that's the thing to do when it's deep into your defensive area. But the Storm now pick it up. They go onto that left foot, skids through the hand. Here's a bit of an opportunity, a bit of a soccer off the ground, and have a look at there who was in the 10-metre square.
Who's
Ryan Yeager. They've got to be a little bit closer on him.
Yeah, you can't leave him by himself down there. So the doggies play on through Goodsall. He sends it long, nice strong mark down there to Jones. Jones spins around, sends a worm burner, finds his teammate down there for the doggies, and they'll look to attack. This is better by the Dogs. They look a little bit more structured through the arms there of Dare. Shrugging the tackle. That was strong stuff. That might have been Clark who kicked it forward, and a mark taken down there for the Storm. Plays on quickly. He's got his man in the middle. That's chopped off nicely down there by Brereton, and he will go back about 35 metres out. He'll kick from about 40, I reckon, Hoppy.
Yeah, and that probably has been the difference in the style of the play of both the teams. You can see here, as soon as the young kiddie got the onion there, his eyes came up, he's darted around to see if he could pass it off, and that certainly has paid dividends, as now we're coming in. Is Brereton. Oh, he goes the old look up, look the other way. He almost confounded everyone. I'm looking forward to the mood food replay on that one.
Me too. That
was classical play.
He had me fooled as well, Hoppy. The only person that wasn't fooled was the man on the mark for Brereton, and he's even getting high fives from his opponents there, Lockie Dare. Have a look at this. He gets awfully close, and then he just raises the head. Oh! Oh, what a goal. In a grand final too, if you don't mind, Hoppy.
Oh, won't that go to the highlights reel? He'll be able to, when he's an old veteran like my very good self with silver colour in the hair and it's Father's Day, he'll have the grandkiddies on the knee and he'll be able to show that back infinitum. That is your classic replay. Yep. And it ends in the 6 points, and that's the thing for them. And the Storm are looking very, very good at these early stages. Another handball out of the middle. It's deep into the quarter. 12 minutes gone, so 3 minutes remaining. It's inside the 50 for the Dogs again. They're holding firm down back, and that was nice play by Wallace. The half-back line, I think, Tubes, are running really nicely for Storm. Not only do they come out, they're really setting up those forward thrusts.
Yeah, I think it's Tom Clark down there who's doing a great job just organising. He's playing that quarterback role that we hear about so much in the AFL, as that one's punched away across the line. The other man down there is Zachy Clifford. And the sad dog over there.
Look at him there, the big dog. He's just for a minute I thought that was the Wombat come from the recycling this morning, because I thought he was driving the truck, but that is your dog.
Yeah, it is. So a ruck contest here at half forward for the Doggies. Quick kick away by Collings. He can't get it away. Out it comes for Blackwell, who sends it forward again. Great attack on the footy down there by Clifford. And picking it up though, scooping it nicely was Dare, who goes down forward, and that's a strong contested grab. Ty Fay takes the mark for the Storm.
Yeah, he's been one of those prime movers from down back. He's been really sure-footed, kept his feet nicely as the Bulldogs are desperate to get it inside 50 and get one more score before that first quarter, which would absolutely suit them well. It's going towards that boundary line as Curtin tries to bring that one back. Oh, he's copped him a little bit too high. Great courage shown there by Duggan, and Duggan will take the free kick. Gee whiz, he put his head over the ball, as we can see here on the Mood Food replay. He was just trailing that one, but we go back towards live play. A big opportunity now, but a nice spoil again by Fay. Fay, it is under pressure now as the Dogs ease back, but look at that pressure being applied. Brilliant work by Burgess. Now it goes back, a swing and a miss. An air swing, it goes closely towards the boundary line. I thought he might have left that one out, but he doesn't do that. He picks it up now, does Burgess. Lovely work. That's a big, long lead out this particular time by Thorpe. He's trying to get the cavalry to come back and assist out. Comes over the back with only a minute left to go. It's close to the boundary line, swerving one way or the other. And he had that naughty look on his face there. He thought he knew he was over, and he looked back in waiting for that umpire to blow the whistle, Tube.
He knew it, Hoppy. He knew it. He knew he was over the line. So boundary thrown. Hot time here for the Southern Storm defence. Out it comes now for the Doggies. Quick kick forward. The pressure's relentless by the Storm. It's picked up there by Hine. He gets tackled hard. A little push in the back. A little overzealous there. And it'll be a free kick going away.
I think was it the push off, the fend off?
Let's have a look at that in the replay. Can we have a look at that? Maybe the fend off there against Hine. That push.
Yep. I think that's what it's been paid for.
Yeah. Well picked up there, Hoppy. So the free kick will go to Duggan. Roy Duggan, the courageous man, sends it out towards his big men. They fly high. Out it comes, quick kick around the corner by Chapman. Chapman goes down towards Thorpe. Thorpe's got Dare hot on his hammer. Dare wins it out, then gets a nice Shepherd. Quick kick down towards their forwards, and a siren beats them. It is a 15-point margin here. The Southern Storm 3-3-21 lead. Claremont 1-6. The goal kickers for the Storm, 2 to Ryan Yeager, 2 in a minute, and 1 to Harry Brereton. And then single for the Claremont Doggies was Lachlan Dare. He kicked one from 50, Hoppy.
Yeah, no, he looked really good. I love the way when he gets the ball, he just takes the game on, which is fantastic. Similarly, with the Storm, they had a lot of guys down back like your Caleb Burgess and Ty Fay. They really set them up down there, and I like the way they run with the ball. You had Harry Brereton, who led out quite nicely and got that goal, but the man for me was Jackson Thorpe, and he's a real danger one. And you could get a sense then as well, Tubes, when they needed an extra body in that last minute, you saw the way he actually led up the ground. So we know that he's got a good engine. So it's a very interesting game at the early stages because they got 2 very different styles of football. Yeah,
very much so. I'm looking for the Claremont boys, for those guys to stand up. Riley Jones, Cooper Lockley and Lockie Dare have been very, very good. They just need to drag those next rung of players up and into the contest, I reckon, Hoppy. So a huge quarter time break here. 15 points is the margin, a big margin in charge for the Storm. They're pretty happy with their efforts so far. We'll take a quick break here on the live stream. Stick around. Second quarter of the STJFL Under 14C Grand Final between the Southern Storm and Claremont coming up soon. Penalty too, perhaps. Yeah, the umpire Geeson's just pulled it out there, and that one will go 50 metres down towards the Brooker Street end. Well, Brooker, we'll just see this on the replay. Copped a little bit high there was Zachy Clifford. And he's got nicely down there is Pavletich. It comes out to the stack head, handballed off nicely to Paramore. Paramore quickly kicks them forward. Through the falcon of Jackson Flack. And it goes through from behind. A great hot start here, Hoppy.
Oh, it certainly was. Flack went around is Clark. Clark going forward. No lead coming out. There's an opportunity. It comes back further afield to Thorpe. Thorpe goes in towards the bow. Oh, has it gone over? I think he's knocking that one through. Let's have a look at it. It's all clear. They are up and about. Ryan Jager, the opportunist goal at the bottom of the pack, has
Pavletich going long forward, trying to find Thorpe. The handball came over the top. Now it's a rolling ball. Defensive pressure is huge. Thorpe again, handballed over the top. Jager's going to have 2 in a minute.
What about the little man there at the bottom of the pack? But didn't you love the work of Jackson Thorpe? He is presenting, Tubes.
Just go.
Bludgeon that ball straight through the centre of the ground, but running off. That is magnificent. Coming from, oh, look at that. That's all a bit Irish.
Clever touch.
It was a clever touch. Go back inboard to the corridor. And this is where they've been good to Pavlich. Now towards that centre half forward position with Thorpe. He has been amazing so far, presenting and bringing it down for his forward. A little bit in the back, I think. They get it out towards the running player. That might have been Dare. It goes in towards the goals. It's going to run through. It depends if it was touched. Umpire Rowan, he won't miss a mistake. Have a look at this, the old champion. Oh, clear! Oh. There's another goal. This game is really gone to another level as Lachlan Dare put that one through from downtown.
Just an incredible handball.
Back over the back. Chapman picks that one up. He goes towards the safety of the line, but there is no safety.
Well, welcome back, folks, to North Hobart Oval for the STJFL Under 14C Grand Final between the Southern Storm and Claremont. Second quarter about to get underway. You're joined in the commentary box by me, Tubes Taylor, and, of course, my good friend Andrew, the Silver Fox Hopwood.
Yes.
Hoppy, an entertaining first quarter.
Yeah, it certainly was. And I went down and had a listen to Southern Storm coach, and Rocket Burgess was absolutely thrilled. The 40-year-old bricklayer, he just said how thrilled he was. He was very happy with how they led up. He said, whatever you do, just don't bomb the ball. You know, they've got bigger players. If there's no one on, let's try and look for space. Yep. And space is going to be there for him. He said, I'll back you blokes with the pace. The only one who can go with us is Lockie Dare. He actually pinpointed him out.
Really?
And he said, let's just keep it away from the running player there. So it's going to be fascinating to see what they do in this second quarter.
Yep, a huge second quarter about to get underway. Umpire Geeson throws it up. Big ruck contest, one down by the Doggies. Coming through is that man, Dare, right on cue. He shrugs one, shrugs two, then gets his left foot to the footy. It just bounces up and then he comes through with strength. That was great stuff by, I can't see who it was down there, Hoppy, but Pavlitic comes out with it and it clears for the Storm.
Yeah, that was Ty Fay who came through and we sort of spoke briefly off camera. I'd like his work. He's only a slightly frame lad, but he certainly stands tall as the Storm just bludgeoned that one out because you could see all the Dogs were let off the leash as they came towards him. It's on the wing position now. A little bit of a push in the back as Sinclair went down. The umpire says, I think you overacted there, son. We can see a little bit more candy. And doesn't he love showing the candy? Was Brereton, as we saw when he kicked that goal, goes in towards that half-forward flank. Slipped that one, unfortunately, for the Storm. Now they're under plenty of pressure as the big Dogs come out and they're going forward. But again, it's those half-back flankers are holding firm, Tubes.
Thorpe, handballs off quickly. Trying it with a fresh air. He was flack. Couldn't quite pick it up. You're absolutely right, Hoppy. They just can't get a hold of the footy. Spinning out of trouble, that was Pavlitic. And it's picked up by the captain there, Burgess, who's been caught for throwing the footy. And it'll be a free kick going to, I reckon that's Jackson Flack out there, Hoppy.
Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate as he came out, but I think that's fair enough. He had prior, and the umpire was right onto that as the Dogs all but try to go inside 50. Backing back there was Thorpe, who was dominant across half forward. He's just drifted down there to assist, and you'll see now he'll get on his bike to try and create some space.
Great tackle here. Just held him and then slung him around, almost a little bit dangerous, but that's okay. Umpire's in the right spot.
Yes, and now it is the Storm back towards the centre half forward. You can see that ball skidding, but it's Holbrook who really treated that like a dry ball. And how about that? Magnificent work going back for certainly showing some great courage was Jackson Thorpe. Ball back in towards the half forward flank. Running back the other way was Eves. He can't pick that one up as Johnson for the Dogs just gets it out. But have a look at it now as the Storm, they run. As soon as they get the ball, they run as quick as they can. They get their eyes up. As coming out towards it was Polly. Polly goes one way, then he gets the other, but their Dogs in front. You've got to bend down and get those big frame as it is now the Storm. They're looking around and going for support. A nice bang. I think there's been a bit of a hit off the ball there. It was friendly fire. But here is the man, Thorpe, who runs towards the ball. But the Dogs are teaming up nicely across half-back flank, too.
Yeah, they're out here now. They've got 3-on-2 out here, the Doggies. If they can just get a hold of the footy. Trying to pick it up there is Lockley. Handballed over the top of Brown. Nicely out to Dare. Dare now from half forward. Sends it long down towards his big full forward. A little push off, nothing doing. Curtin over the back. Quick little. This one's going to go through. Oh, it's hit the post.
These kiddies these days.
They practice that.
They do practice that. And he was a big opportunity there. You can see he sized it up. He put the footy so it would bounce back the other way. But that big padding just hit that bottom base of the upright, as now it is the Storm have the ascendancy through Pavlic. Nice lead, but didn't quite take the ball, but cleverly decides to gain some valuable meterage. But the Dogs are in front, and that's through the agency of Johnson, who's been really good down back. But I like the way that every time Dare gets the ball, he shimmies and he runs, and he's low to the ground. It reminds me of the Rolls Royce that is Walsh for Carlton.
Oh, yes, Sam Walsh, the rising star. That one just tapped over the line. It'll be a boundary throw-in. Have a look at this replay. This is a replay from before.
It was coming back, wasn't it, Tubes?
It just hit the post.
So the boundary throw in, he's just setting up. It's nearly 4 minutes gone in the second quarter. It is STJFL finals time. And it's the Southern Storm having a very handy lead at this stage, but it is the Dogs who have an opportunity to score, and a lovely mark backing into the pack was Lewis Doreen.
Courage there, Hoppy.
It certainly was, as Doreen goes a bit of a clumsy kick on that particular time. He went the lead, but it's fell in safely, and there'll be another ball in and time to set up.
I reckon Coach Nathan Graham will be happy with this, even though the ball has been turned over deep inside their forwards. They're locking it into their forward 50 now, the Dogs. They're trying to keep it here and have those repeat entries. So look for something to happen here as the ruck contest now. Tapped over the back. There was a man down there. He left it behind the Collings. He's left it for this man, Dare, who's such a good player. As he pops it up, they fly high. Oh, couldn't take the mark there, Jai Graham. And out comes your man, Duggan, the little man who just got his kick away. Quick kick forward by Burgess. Now clears the footy. Bouncing ball in front of Jones. Handball's off to a running man in Robinson. Robinson's got numbers everywhere. Go on with it, son. Kick the goal. He's got his hands in the air. Collings has kicked the goal.
Gee, that was good play by the Dogs, but how about when we'll have a look at the Mood Food replay, how did they get so many people on their own tubes?
Well, I'm not sure whether the Storm were just caught ball watching out on that far pocket there in front of the scoreboard, but just look at all the numbers out here. The Dogs, 6 on screen, Hoppy.
Yeah, I think what had happened was the Storm had committed offensively, and when you get that turnover, they were absolutely killed on the quick break, so that was very, very nice play by the Dogs.
I don't think Coach Burgess would be too unpleased with that, because he knows that that's the style of footy they play. They play that attacking, and as you say, they've commit to the forward movement, but unfortunately got caught out with an overlap.
Gee, that'll give them a lot of confidence, the Dogs. There's no doubt about that.
That's what they needed.
So it'll be another ball up. Umpire Geeson throws it off. As you can see, he's a very experienced umpire. That one went directly straight above their heads as Thorpe gathers. He goes forward. They've got the loose man, but it goes further over the back. It's Silasung now has socked that one off the ground. Well played by Halton, but have a look at the Dogs. They're leading towards the ball now. Keep the high hands, and that's fantastic work there. They're almost growing a little bit of confidence now, the Dogs. You can sort of sense it, but here are the Storm. I think that might have been Thorpe who gathered it, goes back towards the goals, and trying to bring that in at the last minute was, let's have a look there, that was Maxi Polly, but couldn't quite get the handle on it, and it went through for the minor score.
Yeah, it did, as this one slips through the fingertips, and Dare read it best. He's got a man over the top in the overlap, nicely picked up there by Collings. I think it might have actually been Robinson. Doggies with numbers around the footy. Quick kick high up. It's a big one going back with the flight there. Oh, the Dogs just ran over each other and then through with power. Burgess sends it forward, but it's going to be chopped off here, and Johnson will take the mark at halfback.
See, that was probably that little bit more pressure. What they had been good at in the first quarter was taking their time on that kick coming inside 50, but they rushed it and turned that ball over. But leading out here is Lewis Doreen, the consummate defender, and he's taken that one out. Oh, there we can see in the background in that blue windsheeter is Jim Horn, the president of the STJFL. But let's take his president's hats off. I put it to YouTube. He is a very, very toey coach.
Yep.
He'll be coaching the under-14 girls in the next game.
He was first here out here sniffing the hallowed turf, wasn't he?
Oh, yes. And won't he bring a wealth of all of his 65-year coaching career?
Absolutely.
So now it is the Dogs. They're streaming out Holbrook. He only knows one thing, and that's straight ahead like a locomotive. But it's the Storm holding fair at this stage. Nice work there. I think that might have been Aitken who just pushes that further afield. Well picked up by Lockley. Lockley gets the afterburners on and he goes in. That's all but a nice strong mark. That was our goal kicker in Collings. They're starting to look a little bit more likely, a little bit more threatening when they get that ball inside the 50. They have a little bit more system now as it's gone out towards the scoreboard, and another boundary throw in.
Just inside 50s, having a look here, Hoppy. It's only 5-8 in favour of the Dogs. So the Dogs are really pushing and keeping that inside their forward half here today.
Yeah, and that's what they'll be trying to do, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. Getting it into those big fellas, and they just want someone to clunk one. And that will give them a little bit more confidence, because it has been the running players so far in Dare and Collings who have kicked their goal, but they know that the big men can hold their own, and if they just start to clunk a couple, as that one has been put through for a minor score, the game can turn very, very quickly.
Well, you can see it in them. Like you've mentioned the C word quite a bit, confidence. Confidence is building for the Doggies. The Storm now bringing the ball out from half back. He says, just go long, I'm going to send it long in your direction. But there's outnumbered here for the Doggies. The big man had his head over the footy, Goodsall. Now it comes out for Collings, who goes on towards Goodsall. Now there's numbers out here for the Dogs. He's just got to go short. He's thought his way through that beautifully. Played on quickly. That was Blackwell that sent it long inside the forward 50. It's hit the man on the head there, Curtin. But he didn't have his eyes on the footy. So it'll be a free kick going to Zach Clifford.
Yeah, it was good play by Clifford, wasn't it? He didn't have any right to stand there like that when he had a man coming straight towards him, but he really stood tall, and a strong mark taken by Goodsell. He goes to short pass.
That's a great kick.
Gee whiz, I tell you what, I like the way they're starting to set up now, and this young man here, Collins, has looked very dangerous, Tubes.
Yep, he's attacked that footy beautifully, led to the right spot, but the kick from Jacob Goodsell was pinpoint with its accuracy.
All right, so it is now Collins. He's a left footer. He's really come round on the arc, and probably not his best effort at goal on that particular occasion.
Just at the last minute, walked to exactly where that footy went.
He kind of had the buddies about him, didn't he? But it didn't swing back the other way.
No.
I like to see kiddies when they're having a shot on goal, just to keep the shoulders nice and square, the hands nice and low, and go right at your target. It's starting to get a run now from half-back is Clark. Clark goes further afield, but I really like the game so far of Holbrook. He was a little bit loose on his man before, just chasing the ball, but he has certainly been a dominant force in this quarter, as the Dogs again have the numbers throughout the centre of play. They kept their eyes up and they're moving the ball beautifully. Can they get this next kick? A little bit of a push, and nicely marked there by the Storm at half-back under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, good pressure play there, nice mark. He quickly moves it out towards Eves. Eves slips over a little bit, then looks up, sees a man that he's got on him, Brereton. Brereton takes the mark at centre wing. Not a lot to kick to. He's got a man deeper if he can get the journey there. He can't quite get it all the way. Jones there just slips into the hole. He gets his kick off the ground, trying to find his mate down there in Blackwell. He missed the mark with his hands. Now the ball goes inside forward 50 towards Thorpe. Thorpe plays on, tries to shrug 1 and 2. Can't quite. Johnson's there for the Doggies. Quick kick off the ground there by Holton. Clever touch there by the Doggies defender, but it's going to work out here around the corner. Cullen behind.
Gee whiz, that was an important touch, as you so accurately said there by Aitken, wasn't it? If that one got through down the back, they had the numbers, they had, what's the modern term? They had the spare there ready to pounce on that ball, and would have been a really easy goal. So well played by the big man to get that frame down in time, as at the bottom of the pack is Duggan, and he certainly battles above his weight division, and he shows great amounts of courage to get in and under. And it is 12 and a half minutes gone in this second quarter. It's grand final day, under 14C. You got your Claremont Bulldogs versus your Southern Storm, as umpire Geeson has seen an infringement, and that is going to go to the Dogs. And wouldn't they be just thrilled, Storm, if Tubes, if they could get one more goal, the Dogs?
They'd love one right about now, as it's 12 minutes 40 gone in the second term on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. The Doggies play on to centre wing. Collings went back with the flight, tried to get a hold of it, couldn't quite. Now it comes out for this man, Tom Clark, who's quick through the middle, down towards Thorpe and Co. Quick defensive work. That was good defensive work, though. Maybe a little bit high on, that might be Flack down there, it is. A little bit high. I'll tell you what, you're getting high too there if you're getting high on Flack. He's a big lad.
Yes, he certainly is. He's a good cut of a lad, as nicely tapped out by the Dogs. Well played by Lockley, just scooting that ball forward. He understands the circumstances of the game at the moment. And a holding the ball decision. Good play by your forwards coming out, applying that pressure. It now goes in. There's a big opportunity if they can. The big arms go up. They can't bring it in, but they're at the where the front of the ball is Goodsell. He goes back to get it again, those second opportunities. But what about that play there, Chief, by Cooper Eves?
Well, his kick just found Jones, unfortunately. He goes wider still out towards this dangerous player in Dare. Dare's got Brereton hot on his hammer, who's hassling him. That's a nice quick kick away. Play on was the call, just dropped it there and he scooped it out. Dodging pass, that's nice work by the Doggies. Brown gets his kick forward, but it's going to be chopped off down there by Pavletic. He gets his kick away. Which way is this one going to bounce? It'll roll out of bounds in front of the Claremont faithful for a boundary throw-in.
Gee, they had an opportunity there, but just didn't quite get the Dukes around the ball. and it's counting down now, so they need to be very, very clean from this boundary throw-in, do the Dogs. Very entertaining game of very good calibre. The stage is set. It is grand final day as the Storm there. They're under, again, pressure as Fay, who's been very, very good, just pushing that ball out. They want to hold firm now with 20 seconds left. Well, can they counter-attack as the ball goes out? Nice play there by Walter under a pretty much enormous pressure with the three people in opposition. Isn't there plenty of dogs are over there in that Ryde Street stand? Yeah,
well, the Claremont girls are coming up next after this as well, so there will be plenty of people out from the Mont. And there it is. It is half-time here in this STJFL Under-14C grand final between the Southern Storm and Claremont. Claremont trail 2-2-14 to the Southern Storm, 3-5-23. Goal kickers for the Storm, 2 to Ryan Yeager and then 1 to Harry Brereton. For Claremont, singles to Sasha Collins and Lockie Dare. And it is, as we said, a 9-point margin here, Hoppy. How'd you see that first half?
Yeah, well, I thought that was very entertaining. It was almost in the two different quarters. I thought the Storm had a much better system in that first quarter. I liked the way Jackson Thorpe came out, led hard at the ball. He was a really good target. If he didn't take the mark, he brought it down, and that's where your Ryan Yeager got off the leash with those 2 goals. Jude Holbrook, who was playing on him there, was just that tad loose, but to Jude Holbrook's credit, he had a magnificent second quarter. Oh, yeah. He's a rough and tumble sort of fella, and he runs in straight lines. They've got to get that ball into Lockie Dare's hands a little bit more from that centre. They've got to try and put the get it in his hands and let him run. Yep. And then they've got to lead. They've got to try and create some space in their forward line. I think that they're dropping back with a few too many numbers. If they can create a little bit more space, I think they'll be a lot more dangerous. But you could toss a coin at the moment. It's a very, very close game.
It is a 9-point margin here at half-time in the STJFL Under-14C grand final between the Southern Storm and Claremont. We're going to take a quick break here on Duff TV. We'll be back with the second half in just a few moments. Stick around. Penalty too, perhaps. Yeah, the umpire Geeson's just pulled it out there, and that one will go 50 metres down towards the Brooker Street end. Well, Brooker, we'll just see this on the replay. Copped a little bit high there was Zachy Clifford. And he's got nicely down there is Pavletich. It comes out to the stack, had handballed off nicely to Paramore. Paramore quickly kicks them forward. Oh, through the falcon of Jackson Flack. And it goes through from behind. A great hot start here, Hoppy.
Oh, it certainly was. Flack went around is Clark. Clark going forward. No lead coming out. There's an opportunity. It comes back further afield to Thorpe. Thorpe goes in towards the bow. Oh, has it gone over? I think he's socketed that one through. Let's have a look at it. It's all clear. They are up and about. Ryan Jager, the opportunist goal at the bottom of the pack, has
Pavletich going long forward, trying to find Thorpe. The handball came over the top. Now it's a rolling ball. Defensive pressure is huge. Thorpe again, handballed over the top. Jager's going to have 2 in a minute.
What about the little man there at the bottom of the pack? But didn't you love the work of Jackson Thorpe? He is presenting tubes.
Just
bludgeon that ball straight through the centre of the ground, but running off. That is magnificent. Coming from, oh, look at that. That's all a bit Irish.
Clever touch.
It was a clever touch. Go back inboard to the corridor. And this is where they've been good to Pavlich. Now towards that centre half forward position with Thorpe. He has been amazing so far, presenting and bringing it down for his forward. A little bit in the back, I think. They get it out towards the running player. That might have been Dare. It goes in towards the goals. It's going to run through. It depends if it was touched. Umpire Rowan, he won't miss a mistake. Have a look at this, the old champion. All clear. There's another goal. This game is really gone to another level as Lachlan Dare put that one through from downtown.
Just an incredible handball.
Back over the back. Chapman picks that one up. He goes towards the safety of the line, but there is no safety as Blackwell takes the mark.
Yeah, Blackwell's taken the mark
52.
Here. And 50, maybe. No, umpires called him right onto the mark. He had pace behind the footy, so that's okay.
Pick it up. They go onto that left foot. Skids through the hand. Here's a bit of an opportunity. A bit of a soccer off the ground. around and have a look at there who was in the 10-metre square.
Who's
Ryan
sniffing them
Yeager.
out?
They've got to be a little bit closer. It has been the difference in the style to play of both the teams. You can see here, as soon as the young kiddie got the onion there, his eyes came up, he's darted around to see if he could pass it off, and that certainly has paid dividends, as now we're coming in. Is Brereton?
Oh,
He goes the old look up, look the other way. He almost confounded everyone. I'm looking forward to the mood food replay on that one.
Me too. That
was classical play.
He had me fooled it here, the doggies, if they can just get a hold of the footy. Trying to pick it up there is Lockley. Handballed over the top to Brown. Nicely out to Dare. Dare now from half forward. Sends it long down towards his big full forward. A little push off, nothing doing. Curtin over the back. Quick little. This one's going to go through. Oh, it's hit the post.
These kiddies these days.
Of Jones. Handballs off to a running man in Robinson. Robinson's got numbers everywhere. Go on with it, son. Kick the goal. He's got his hands in the air. Collins has kicked the goal.
Gee, that was good play by the Dogs, but how about when we'll have a look at the mood food replay, how did they get so many people on their own tube?
Well,
hit the high hands, and that's fantastic work there. They're almost growing with a little bit of confidence now, the Dogs. You can sort of sense it, but here are the Storm. I think that might have been Thorpe who gathered it, goes back towards the goals, and trying to bring that in at the last minute.
Can't quite. Johnson's there for the Doggies. Quick kick off the ground there by Holton. Clever touch there by the Doggies defender, but it's going to work out here around the corner. Cullen behind.
Gee whiz, that was an important touch, as you so accurately said there by Aitken, wasn't it? If that one got through down the back, they had the numbers. They had, what's the modern term? They had.
Williams by Cripps. Bread for taste.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
You still take my breath away with nothing but a smile. And every time I kiss you, it feels like the first time. Who knew at the start a fire would have sparked? Just dancing in the dark. Just dancing
Williams
in the dark.
by Cripps. Bread for taste.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
You still take my breath away with nothing but a smile. And every time I kiss you, it feels like the first time. Who knew at the start a fire would have sparked? Just dancing in the dark. Just dancing
Williams
in the dark.
by Cripps. Bread for taste.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
You still take my breath away with nothing but a smile. And every time I kiss you, it feels like the first time. Who knew at the start a fire would have sparked? Just dancing in the dark. Just dancing in
Williams
the dark.
by Cripps. Bread for taste.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
Well, there is the equation here at half-time in the STJFL Under 14C Grand Final between the Southern Storm and Claremont. A 9-point margin in favour of the Storm. And we've still got a half to go though, Hoppy. My name is Tubes Taylor, and as I said, Andrew Hopwood is joining me next door. Hello, Hoppy.
Yeah, no, that was very exciting. Well, I went down this time, I went down to the kennel, and I had to listen to Podgy Graham, the 37-year-old welder. And he was really, really happy with that second quarter. He really loved the intent. If anything, he was slightly disappointed they didn't get reward for all those forward thrusts. But the other thing I noticed too, his favourite music's AC/DC, and they had a bit of that work going on. And that certainly, as they came out, decided to fire up. And the other thing, it is normally the George Miller stand, but I noticed a little sign at the moment. They've changed the name and is the Jim Horn stand for the next 2 games.
Well, there we go. Burgess brings it out like on cue. The captain just trying to play a captain's game, but his kick only goes as far as Jones, who has a second bounce, then decides to just bulldoze his way through. A player down there sends it long, but his kick is untoward. Maybe the pressure got to him there, Hoppy. He's kicked it out on the full.
I like the way, though, he decided to take the game on. You can't stop that, but it was just an errant left foot kick that let him undone as the Storm decided to come inboard, not blaze away. They just waited till they got someone free, and that was Caleb Clark, who did a really nice job. Now he arches the back and decides to play on, get that ball moving, and that's more the Storm's go. They have to really take the game on quickly and get it to space. I would be really enforcing that if I was coaching them. As coming out now is the man with all the tricks in Harry Brereton. Further afield, nice punch out there by the Dogs. Running hard is the Storm. You can see now they've got an opportunity. They're bouncing in front. Get down and pick up that onion, son, and he does so. Well done by Parrymore. Parrymore gets it back to that area of danger. Beautiful work there by Eves. And now there's a chance as they scoot that one in. And Maxi Polly is on the end of what was a good forward thrust, Tubes.
Yeah, a brilliant forward thrust. And just, again, the quality of player that Jackson Thorpe is. He looked up, he saw Polly coming hard at him, and popped it to a spot where he needed to move a bit closer towards goal and improve the angle. Great kick by Jackson Thorpe.
Polly now gets close to the mark, goes the left foot. And you'd like to see the kiddies just go back a bit further. And once they get those big sticks in front of them, it doesn't matter if it's at under 14C or at the AFL level. And not like in the other day, the olden day, when you get your pluggers or your great Peter Hudson, just go back and slot them. They just get a little bit nervous, don't they?
They do. Jones now moved it out to Dare. Dare on that favoured right shoe, sends it a long way. Coming through hard at the footy. Johnson got it on the end of one. Now a quick kick forward. I think that might have been Blackwell, but it's going to be chopped off nicely by Clark, who plays on quickly. Handballs off to the captain. The captain gets his kick off towards Brereton. His kick a little bit too much on it, and now Dare with strength going through 3 or 4 tacklers, finding Blackwell. Blackwell got tackled hard. He left the footy behind. Now a chance for the Storm again if they can just get it here. There's umpire Geeson's put out a free kick for kicking in danger. It'll go the way of the Storm.
Yeah, you've got to protect the man who's got his digits down to pick up the ball. And Pavlich at that particular time, again, they've decided to go in, and that's the sort of thing, Tubes, they've got to get out of. They can't be bombing the ball like that, because your players like your Dares will just mop them up. But here they go, arch the back, and going to take the ball on. They're going right through the centre of the ground, a big opportunity. It's an open forward line, backing back. They can't quite take the mark. They got to that area of danger. You know, the little men are going to run onto the ball. They've socketed it off. Is Parrymore. It's going to be interesting to see if the player has been paid advantage. And it has been. Nice work by the Storm. That was a much better forward entry.
Yeah, clever stuff there by Parrymore. Again, I just want to highlight a touch here of Alfie Cullen, the big man on screen there, number 40. If we go back and have a look at the replay, he dragged the ball back here, Hoppy. Have a look at this. Back into the corridor. Clever, smart. Parrymore hot on the hammer there, just running in, got his first goal.
And it was a good set play, I think, because both Parrymore and Thorpe were running onto that one. They knew exactly what Alfie Cullen was up to.
Yep.
And that errant drop mark from the Dogs was very, very costly on that particular occasion.
So back in the middle now, 4 minutes gone in the third term. It's a Storm up by 16 points. Ruck contest, tapped down nicely by the captain for the Storm, Burgess. His kick though, his footy went down to the opposing team and their kick went forward, but coming through hard was Clark. Now a chance for Brereton. He got his handball away just. Scrappy stuff here at half forward. So much time in the world down there for Cooper Reeves. Going back now, the kick goes long. Pushed underneath the footy and it'll roll out of bounds in front of Max Polly.
And you can see there by Ryan Yeager, he started to back and then he thought, hang on a minute, I've got these very thin legs. I'm just going to get front and centre where he's been very good and got those 2 goals with succession. and it didn't quite come down, but he's in the right spot, and he got to create the space. As the Dogs now, they're going to try and link up if they can get another handball, and this is what we spoke about. If they can get the handball out to this fella and let him run, he doesn't get any space. They close him down very, very quickly. Similarly there with Lockley, who goes out towards the Jim Horn stand, picked up nicely by Clark. Clark goes back inside, and here come the Storm again. They're going deep inside that full forward area, and going up, almost taking a cracker of a mark, was Jackson Thorpe. He can't bring it down, and they've got the numbers now through Jackie Johnson. Goes out towards that boundary line. We know he'll fake, come back inside as Brereton goes a bounce, shimmies. Another handball back inside toward Burgess. Burgess goes towards the goals, and he's put it high, wide and handsome, and out of bounds.
Yeah, out on the full there, but the right idea. And I think what's happening here, have a look at that work there by Brereton. Great stuff, but yeah, we just saw that one go out of bounds on the full. What's happening here for the Dogs is every time they get the footy, someone from the Storm is hot on their hammer. The Storm are just pressure at the moment, Hoppy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we know if we were to put them end on end, that the Dogs will be a fair bit taller, and so the Storm are working a lot harder to get over and counter that with numbers at the ball. As Dare picks it up and he gets the handball, they're going to try and get some run as it comes out towards Lockley, who is one of their prime moving players. It's towards the half forward flank. Now the ascendancy goes back towards the Storm, and they quickly try and rush that one out as they come right through the centre of the ground with a very low kick. It comes over the back towards Jaeger. On this particular occasion, you see him dropping off the back, ready to get that handball towards the back. There are three there. They could almost raffle this one, and they come back inside. Well played by Walder. If there's three there, where are the spare players? But leading out and taking a very strong mark, again, is Thorpe, who's been so good at presenting himself at centre half forward.
Again, a contested grab inside their forward 50. Thorpe sends it out to a 3-on-1. Now a chance over the back here for Cooper Eves. He handballs off to a man, Paramore. Paramore off to Thorpe. Thorpe goes long to the top of the square, pushing the back. No, umpire in the wrong spot to see that one. We had a good view of it. Nice work by Flack, who scooped it back into the corridor. Dangerous stuff. Needs to just pick it up here, the doggy. He does well. He gets it up to his man, Goodsaw, who goes long, and there's Thorpe. He takes a great contested grab, doesn't he, Hoppy?
He just plays taller than he is. He doesn't look that tall, but he's got some great vertical leap. He reminds me of sort of like a Bulldog at centre half forward. He's the old-fashioned 5'10", but he plays 6'3".
Yeah, and it was unselfish there because he had his captain Caleb Burgess in a better spot. He'll go back, and he's kicked it into the man on the mark. Burgess plays on, tackled hard, great tackle, Johnson.
That's the sort of thing that can lift a team, Tubes. That was tremendous play by Johnson, who gets it out towards Dare, taken a little bit high, but he decides to play on. Goes out towards that wing position, and look at them bursting through. Brilliant work. I think that might have been Burgess again. Goes forward, but going back, Jones didn't quite take that mark. It's getting a little bit willing now as the Dogs keep it in. That might be dangerous, but they think it's at all costs. Goes on the left foot. It's errant kick and out of bounds. It's really picked up a notch now, Tube.
It certainly has. It was Tom Clark who ran off the half-back line there.
Yep.
Yeah, great stuff, Hoppy. Great call as the kick comes into Jaeger, or Jaeger. He goes short to Paramore. Paramore now in the pocket. Flack gets his kick away, just a dribbler out towards Jaeger. Now a quick kick forward. I think that might have been Holbrook. Numbers here with the Doggies. Quickly kicked off the ground by Cooper. Lockley, but it's come back now for Clark. Clark goes long, and it's going to be marked here by Jude Holbrook.
Yeah, nice mark. Kept his eye on the ball, drifted back, and he certainly, since that first quarter, got the measure on Jaeger. He's really blanketed him, taking him out of the game at this stage, but we know how elusive he is. He's just got to be very, very careful. He'll drop off the back and try and get goal side as the ball is being thrown in. Nice work by Burgess to get the tap down, but the Dogs rove it. They go back inside again. A nice smother. The Dogs pick it up. It's almost get it on your boot as quickly as you can. And Thomas Clark, he is really standing tall and putting a stamp on this game. He wants the best on ground medal. There's no doubt about that. I know it's not an individual game, it's team, but he's certainly standing out as the Storm go back inside. They try and draw that extra player as it comes back out towards Eves. Played nicely by the Dogs, but it's going to come back in again as they run towards the goal as Burgess. Burgess goes really long, but they're back taking a nice safe mark through the agency of Jones.
Jones has played that position really well. It goes out to the half-forward line. Now a quick handball over the top by Dare. He finds his captain, Lockley. Lockley's handball misses the mark, but Dare's got the time to go back and get it. Sends it deep towards that centre wing position. Bouncing ball over the back. First man going to be there is Chapman, but it's taken away by Graham, and the Doggies go forward again. Nice mark, and now here he goes. This man, Zachy Clifford's been quiet because the ball hasn't been down there hardly at all, but his kick is untoward, and he pops it off to a man down there in Nichols.
Gee, it's from one team to the other. They just got to get their eyes up and have a look where they're kicking. We can't blame the intent. They're playing on with great gusto, but their kicks are just going to the opposition now. But it comes inside the 50. Jude Holbrook was there holding on very, very firm. They got the numbers now to the Dogs. They decide to just soccer that one off the ground. Very deft touch as it lands in the paws of Blackwell. Blackwell now goes on to his trusted left boot, goes on to a one-on-one contest. The Storm recover first as Clark goes back with the ball. Another side inside 50. Well picked up by Walter with clean hands over to Thorpe, who we know will go forward. But it's the Dogs. It's that last kick coming in to that forward line that has been the one letting the Storm down, Tubes.
Well, he's got nothing to kick to here, so he's going to have to run it up the centre wing. He does all the way from the back pocket. Nice work down towards his half-forward line, but it's chopped off by the Storm. Numbers with the Dogs, though. Clever touch over the back. They'd love to get a goal here as that kick came out by Curtin, and it's chopped off down there by the Storm. I think that's Ty Fay.
Those Bulldog forwards have got to play in front, Tubes, don't they?
They certainly do. As Dare gets his handball away, there's numbers here everywhere for the Doggies. Oh, just spent it before he got it. Jai Graham, that's holding the footy.
Gee whiz, great tackling there. That was Caleb Burgess again. But I think the forward line for the Dogs just need to be moving a little bit more. They're a little bit too stationary on that particular occasion and caught napping, and that has been the strength of the Storm. As coming out to take that one was Jaeger, and he had all sorts of pressure put in by Holbrook. It goes back towards the Jim Horn stand. Picking up now to the Storm. They go on the left foot kick. That's a sort of great pressure act, the smother there by Blackwell, and he's going to go again for a second tackle. Right in front of the faithful, and don't they love it?
Yeah, what a tackle there by Lockie Blackwell. Desperation stuff. That's what grand finals are made of. He plays on quickly. Numbers here in the middle. Dare has it. Sells some candy. Then just sends a check side down towards forward 50. Who's down there for the Dogs? They could have raffled it. There was 3 of them that wanted it. Then they all got it, and then they handballed it away to an opponent. Now it's a 2-on-1 for the Storm. It's picked up down there by Clark. Clark just left it behind for Chapman. Chapman going through the middle. Sends a Spirelli past deep inside his forward 50. Thorpe went underneath it. Now the handball comes out the back. How do you get rid of that umpire? Fairly, he says. Now, out it comes for Johnson. Johnson just left it behind. He's got Thorpe hot on his hammer. Quick kick forward by the Dogs, and they're out here.
They certainly are, and it's at absolute frenetic pace as the Dogs are again playing slightly from behind. They need to sort of move that half-forward flank up just a little bit because it's playing in the hands of the Storm. If they're to get past what is an impregnable dike, they really have to move a little bit more. It's between half-back flanks who have been fantastic in this quarter, and you can sense it is crucial now, this next goal. It's either going to give the Dogs that bit more confidence or give some breathing space for the Storm. And on this particular occasion, it is Blackwell who takes the free kick. Blackwell slings onto his left boot, but unfortunately Collins couldn't quite take the kick. Coming out now is Holbrook. He goes to big fist, but there front and centre is Eves. Eves goes long, very long, but it's right into that 10-metre square. The Dogs, they've been fantastic down here, and they haven't given an inch, and again they repel what is another mounting attack from the Storm.
How many times has Jones done that out of the back pocket, Hoppy? He's done that all game. The kick comes into the middle, and that's a strong mark. It's my man Jeremy Pavletic who takes the mark here, and Dare gets a little bit of a stern talking to, but that's okay. He'll go back from about 45 metres. He's got a short option on, plays on quickly, and finds his captain Burgess. I'll tell you what, when the captain calls, you kick it every time, don't you?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And so Burgess now will go back with only 30 seconds to go. And I know it's early, Chiefs, but he could all but ice it if he can get this one through. He takes his time. He goes towards the goals. and there is still very much life left in this game. He almost rushed that last kick.
Yep.
Anyway, that's what can happen in grand final pressure.
Oh, pressure's huge here, Hoppy. 17 points the margin. Bringing the ball out. Goodsall sends it long. He's got Dare. Dare stops. And the man, Pavletic, arrives on the mark. Sends a short one. He didn't know it was coming there, the captain, Lockley. And that is three-quarter time here at North Hobart Oval. The Southern Storm, 4-7-31. Lead Claremont 2-2-14 in this under-14C STJFL Grand Final. The goal kickers for the Storm, 2 to Ryan Yeager, then singles to Harry Brereton and Dylan Parrymore. For the Claremont Bulldogs, it is singles to Sasha Collins and Lockie Dare. Hoppy, give us a rundown about that first three quarters.
I tell you what, how good was the defensive line, the back six of the Dogs in that quarter. If we just look down at our stats, and I'll just bring that up, some of those deep forward entries, they had the ball within that 10 metre radius. Just looking now, 8 times in that quarter, and they were able to repel them. Just brilliant work. I think it might have been, was it Jones?
Riley Jones.
Yeah, Riley Jones. He took the game on, and there's one time he came up, and I think he had 6 bounces. So it could have been a lot worse off for them. So that'll give them confidence that the Storm haven't buried them and there's life in this game. One thing that Podgy Graham will have to say to these boys, he set the forward line. He needs to get them moving a little bit more. They've been a little bit too sedentary and stationary. They need to lead up, lead up, lead up. And if they're not going to get the onion, they've got to take those defenders, those half-back flanks, take them out wide so there's space for the forwards to kick some goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's got to do something about that half-back line of Burgess, Clark and Clifford for the Storm, Coach Graham. We'll take a quick break here at three-quarter time. That is the Storm. They lead by 17 points. We'll be back with the final quarter of this STJFL Under-14 Grand Final in just a few moments.
You still take my breath away with nothing but a smile. And every time I kiss you, it feels like the first time. Who knew at the start a fire would have sparked, just dancing in the dark. Just dancing
Williams
in the dark.
by Cripps. Bread for taste.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map.
All right, we're almost about to get started. The siren has gone there, Hoppy, for the final term, but there's still some people on the ground. It is fourth term about to get underway in the STJFL Under-14C Grand Final between the Southern Storm and the Claremont Bulldogs. Of course, the Southern Storm is a club that merged between a few different clubs down there in the Channel.
Yeah, and I think it's great to see. It's a great initiative. There weren't enough kiddies to go around, so what were arch enemies, let's get them all together, and we think that's sort of absolutely fantastic. So now,
Commandy?
Born and Channel, born from that zone, they've come together as one unit.
Yeah, awesome.
And it keeps them together.
Yep, awesome stuff. All right, fourth term underway here. Take it away, Andrew Hopwood.
Yeah, so it all boils down to this. You've worked hard, you've been up and down in the sand dunes, you've done a big pre-season, and you've got 15 minutes to prove your worth as the Dogs just try and push that one forward. It'll be interesting to see what positional changes have happened here, and it is a free kick going to Duggan.
Yeah, just ducked his head underneath the little digger there and just went and got the footy.
Not the greatest of kicks, though, because it goes towards the danger man in Dare. But the half-back flank have absolutely been supreme, as it's been a bit of a tackle late, and the Storm will take the free kick downfield. And that goes to Eves. He decides to play on, and he's got plenty of pace. He has one bounce. He goes the second. I didn't quite come up to him. He tries the block, and quick kick, because the Dogs came over to get him, and it's gone out of bounds.
I think when he went to bounce the footy there, Hoppy, the footy just landed in one of those weeds.
Yes. You can see it is a bit blotchy, isn't it? It almost looks like a teenager's face. Very, very blotchy.
Eves has chopped it off, though, and he's going to go to the hot spot there at centre half forward, going back with a flight. This might be a free kick going to Brereton.
Oh, he's gone arch the back. Oh, he's played on quickly. He gets it over to the Burgess. Burgess is going to take his time, and he puts that one through for a very, very nice, timely goal for the Storm.
Well, that is a captain's goal if ever I've seen one, but great effort there by Harry Brereton to play on quickly. Knew he was in trouble, but he had the support around him, and that's what the Southern Storm have been doing all game. They've been running in numbers, Hoppy.
They certainly have, and that was nice play. And what about the play of Harry Brereton? As soon as he got the ball here, have a look at his eyes. They're ready to dart. He think, I can see an opportunity. No, he's pretty clever, and away he goes. But they were having none of that. He was caught by Nichols, pulled him back, but he got the handball off in better position and drilled that one home.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there for the Storm. Puts them out by 23 points.
Gee whiz, that's a very nice position to be in this last quarter, given that the Dogs have only got the 2 goals so far. It is Duggan leading the team to the ball. He's been terrific down back, very courageous young player. It's Brereton who sees that one over, and it'll be a boundary throw in. So
we must of course thank our sponsors who are on the bottom of the screen there. Huon Delivery Service, Duggins Dye and Kai Gordon, Mitchell Plastic Welding, and the Huon Valley Community Bank down there, the Bendigo Bank.
Well, the Huon Delivery Services, the Storm forgot a couple of pairs of boots.
Oh, is that what happened?
And they delivered them directly here this morning.
Yeah, because there's no kids running out there in sand shoes, that's for sure.
Yep, so we thank them very, very much indeed as the Storm apply the big tackle. That was Thomas Clark. He was probably held on a little bit too long. The Dogs are going to take the free kick. Nice mark, just arching the back. At centre half back has been Ty Fay, and they really have been good. Is it been Fay, I think Burgess and Clark across the half back flank. There's been a whistle on play, and it's been holding, and the Dogs really need to get some momentum going quickly here, Chews.
Well, they just got to run the ball quickly as they move the ball on through Thompson. It's a real quagmire that he's kicking into, though. No one's getting in front for the Doggies. This one rolls out the back, trying to find it was Graham. Nicely picked up there by Hine. But look at the numbers around the footy for the Storm. Chapman got his kick away, and now they're out here, the Storm, through Clark. Clark shrugs the back, heads up towards his full forward. Going across the front of the pack was Meredith. Thorpe got his handball away, and Flack. Now there's an umpire call here, held on a little bit too long onto Thorpe, so it's a free kick for Thorpe.
Yeah, he certainly did. He got rid of the ball and he tried to continue on his run and was held. So they go forward again, and the big, long, telescopic arms of Maxi Polly stretches up with good vertical leap and takes a nice mark, and he's going to go back and have a shot on goal. And surely, Tubes, it'll be all over Red Rover if they can slot this one through.
Yeah, this one will probably put a little bit too far out to reach. He's very close to the man on the mark, but makes no mistake. He's kicked the goal in the grand final. Max Polly gets his first, and the margin now out to 29.
Yeah, well, Polly, we were a little bit critical of. I think it was in the previous quarter. He had a shot and got close to the man on the mark. Again, that's what he rolls with. He only took 3 or 4 steps, but he nailed that one through just to prove the commentators wrong, and has given Storm what potentially could be an unassailable lead.
Yep, you're right. And it started with Jackson Thorpe, that free kick, but his attack on the footy, he was in the right area. He needed to be in that area, didn't he, Hoppy?
Very much so. He's been a colossus at centre half forward. Going towards him, he's taken some really nice marks, and if he hasn't got the ball, he's certainly brought it down to the ground for some of their sort of nimble players to get underneath it. It is Burgess who's now moved into the ruck, but it's Eves takes 2 bounces. He's at through centre half forward position. He drives it towards the goal and just offline. And it seems to be all Storm now with 5.5 minutes gone in the last quarter.
We've seen a fair bit of that through the middle there, where they've broken out from the centre clearance and just ran away with it through the middle of the ground. So they're just so fast, the Storm.
We can see here a bit of a bump on play, but the hard man there, Judy Holbrook, comes in with another tackle. And just looking at the stats, that's his 5th reward for effort for his tackling. He's been really, really good for the Dogs. This is the first quarter that Jaeger got away, and then since that time he has been absolutely fantastic. And it's Burgess now, who was the half-back flanker. He's drifted down with the play, and he's found the man, and very, very unselfish. And I think that'll be Jackie Walden now, Tubes. Or I think he's a bit too far out.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. What had happened there? Burgess had drifted down. No one went near him. And he's got that kick on goal.
Has he had an opponent all day at all, Hoppy? He seems to be, maybe he's just gut running. See, he's just all by himself.
There's your modern footballer, isn't it? Never stop and keep going. And he has gone back and put that one through. And I tell you what, the Storm are really getting a wriggle on in this last quarter. That's the second goal to Caleb Burgess, and it has been all Storm, and when it's counted, Tubes.
Yeah, absolutely, Hoppy, and that's sunk the hearts of the Claremont faithful, because that margin now is 36 points. Very difficult to come back from here. A little bit of a floater there from Burjo.
Yes, it had that Favola left to right, didn't it? And right through the middle. Very accurate and very nice. You can almost sense now that at 3/4 time it was quite heightened. The expectation was there. The Jim Horden stand was alight, and it's really quietened them down now, hasn't it? They're still enthusiastic, barracking for their doggies over there in the kennel, but they understand now it's a big, big ask. But we know that Dare will never give up as he pushes it back towards Hine, who gets it back into the area of certain danger. Weaving one way, then the other is Graham. He might have been pinged for that particular one, and the Storm just seem to have all the answers at the minute, Tubes.
Yeah, I think that what's happened there is Jai Graham's so used to having so much space, but not used to having the pressure of the Storm, who have just been relentless all day.
And as they drive it in, they just seemingly have all the answers. But that's the kick that isn't a great forward kick. It's just getting in hope, and the Storm have got the numbers back. But Dare is there again. He just pushes that forward. He wants one of those big men to take a mark. The umpire has blown the whistle. I'm not certain what for.
Free kick too high.
Yeah, well, I suppose that comes to Graham, and he's played in front, so he gets the reward for it.
That's absolutely right. He's going to go back. He must kick this one if the Doggies have any chance. I mean, they're 6 goals behind, plus now Hoppy 7.
That'll be some sort of comeback,
That'll be
Tubes.
6, yeah, 5 if he gets this. Gee, it's a nice kick off the boot, and it's gone through.
Jai Graham, he's a never say die attitude. Lovely kick on goal. He went back there. He had his nice square shoulders directly at his target, leant forward and put it through for a goal. And they've still got some belief, have those Dogs forwards.
Yep. If they can just get it out of the middle, break free here through Dare, Jones and co, get it into the arms of Jai Graham. That was a cracking kick, Hoppy.
Absolutely critical centre bounce here in the STJFL first grand final of the day. It is the under-14 C division. It's the Southern Storm versus the Claremont Bulldogs. As it's back in the hands of umpire Geeson. 30 points light are the Dogs, but certainly will never give it away. They need a big clear out They don't get the tap, but they're there trying to get that ball was Jones, who was fantastic in the third quarter. Now they're a chance. They're taken high, so they have got that clearance they crave, Tubes.
Yep, Cooper Lockley has it. He goes out towards Dare. Dare can run on. He decides against it. He had a man leading. He just stopped there, Graham. But now he pops it up in the Graham direction. Graham gets shepherded off it. Out comes Duggan. Sends that right boot forward. Going back with the flight. That was courageous stuff there by Clark. Can't quite get a hold of the footy. Paramore taps it on to Thorpe. Thorpe again with a torpedo. Slow and hard. Flack, a good spoil. Now Johnson gets the kick off the ground for the Doggies. Here he is, Brereton. He's so dangerous when he's around the goals. Nice tackle on the footy by Eves. Eves from the corner, bends one back and turns it around. Goal!
What a magnificent goal that was, as we'll have a look on the Mood Food replay. He gave him the bit of the Dusty Martin and fantastically clean hands below his knees, picked it up and had the confidence as he stuck the barrel chest out and put that one through for a sausage.
Again, I just want to emphasise the touch here of Brereton. He didn't get any physical stat for that, but he just kept it alive, didn't he? And how about the bend on this one for big fella there, Cooper Eves, who kicks his first goal of the grand final. And if it wasn't all she wrote before, I think it is now, Hoppy.
Gee, just as the Dogs showed some signs, they got that ball forward. They gave the big throng that are here to visit them some form of hope. And that one was a very, very nice shot on goal. Individual brilliance there by the Storm as it comes back towards Riley Jones. He goes further afield. It's almost like the same sort of fellas. That's just a slightly errant handball. Didn't quite find the old give and go for Jones. And going back under a fair bit of pressure has slipped. Good tackle by the Dogs. And it's just great to see, Tubes, isn't it? These kiddies are not just giving this game away.
No, and that's something that they need to learn as well, isn't it, Hoppy? That you can't give up. No matter where you are on the scoreboard, you just can't give up, because you just got to show that you've got it in your heart that you want to win this game of footy.
Well, that's just the sort of thing that Podgy Graham has instilled in these kiddies. That's the sort of rooster he is. Held there, maybe potentially without the ball, and it'll be a free kick going to Harry Brereton. Brereton goes in towards centre-half forward position. I believe it was touched. Now there's an opportunity, but we know the toughness of Holbrook will stand tall at centre-half back. Only goes as far as Burgess. Burgess now long, clear. There's a chance to mark it. And that was the man that kicked that terrific goal just a few minutes ago, was Eves. He was up against Black. He had some assistance from Johnson as it goes out now towards Dare. Dare needs to take the game on. There's one bounce that goes right back over his shoulders. He's almost pulled back, but he gets his kick. And taking a very timely, steady mark is Ty Fay.
Yeah, he's been very good off half-back. He sends it back in towards the middle, towards Thorpe, who flew high, left it behind though. Quick kick forward nicely by Meredith. Through the fingertips of his big forwards, but it's going to be okay. That's holding the footy. Handball's off. No, now he handballs back to the man who gave it to him, Hine. Hine sends it low, and Jai Graham takes the mark.
Well, we know Jai Graham's not a bad shot at goal, Tubes. He needs to go back and slot this one. I'm about pointing too much, son. Time is against you.
There's a man down behind play here.
Ah, right you are. So just waiting on that one, as it is Jai Graham just taking his time. Here he goes. Oh, he's been told to halt the play, I think, because that player down is right where the ball might be going. Can you see who that is, Tubes? Is it Dickie Knee, is it?
Might be an ankle, I think, Hoppy, by the looks of things. Not sure who it is. They're going to take him straight off to the corner.
Yeah, that's pretty wise, I'd suggest. Okay, so we go back to the man having a shot at goal. It's Jai Graham, who's looked quite likely as a target down forward. Just hasn't been deep enough for him. He's just waiting for umpire Geeson to give him the all clear, and he says, just hang on a minute, son. As here he goes now. He got one. He got that in this quarter. He kicks long.
Geez, a good kick.
He's a beautiful kick. It just needed to get the ball into his hands a little bit more, but that's a fantastic shot on goal. Well done by Jai Graham.
Yeah, beautiful goal to Jai Graham, his second of the afternoon. But unfortunately, it's not enough for the Doggies. It'll be a Southern Storm grand final win. How about the drop punt on Jai Graham?
Gee, we've seen some good goals in this last quarter, Tubes. That's a fantastic set shot. on goal, and we've seen hooks and shots from all angles, but that's a good a kick as you'll see on goal from anyone at any standard of football. As umpire Geeson is just checking that everyone is in the right position with just into the dying seconds of what is our first grand final for the day, ladies and gentlemen. It is the under-14C grand final between Southern Storm and your Claremont Bulldogs, and the Dogs get that centre break, goes towards Dare. Dare now, he'll go the very low leading kick. They want to get it up nice and high towards Jai Graham because he's looked like he's going to get a kick. And I tell you what, he is going to have another shot on goal. It might be all a little bit too late, but he can go back for personal glory if he chooses to have that shot. But I think he's not going to bother with it, Jude. But the Southern Storm have come out victors, and they are very excited.
Sorry, Hoppy, I was a little bit confused as to what had happened there. Was there a free kick to the Dogs? Are they going to take it? The umpires are holding on to it. But it is a big win to the Southern Storm, as you say. They win the game 8-8-56 to 4-2-26. A 30-point margin in the end in favour of the Storm. Goal kickers for the Storm. It was 2 in that quarter to Caleb Burgess, 2 in the first to Ryan Yeager, then singles to Max Polly, Cooper Eves, Harry Brereton and Dylan Paramore. For the Mont, it was 2 to Jai Graham, an absolute couple of rippers off a set shot, then singles to Sasha Collins and Lockie Dare. Your better players, Hoppy?
Oh, well, it was just for me, it was a team effort of the back six, but that back three, the half-back flank, you got your Burgess and your Clark and your Fay. They were just wonderful players today. They set every attack up. I love the way they just took the game on.
I might add a couple there.
Yes.
Fay, Eves, Clifford, and of course your man up forward who was a dangerous target, Thorpe. Jackson Thorpe didn't kick a goal, but my word, he was involved in most.
He certainly was.
And for the Doggies?
Well, they just never gave up. I think for me, I loved the work of Riley Jones. He was very strong down back. Jai Graham came into the game late, so it was unfortunate that the Dogs couldn't have created a bit more space to get the ball in towards his hand. Jude Holbrook, I thought, was very good. Very solid. And Lockie Dare.
Lockie Dare, yeah, I think he floated out of that game a little bit in that last term, but he did a power of work in the first 3 quarters, didn't he?
He certainly did. So they're very exciting down there. It doesn't matter what grade of football it is. It's a wonderful thing to participate in the grand final, and again to take it to the next level, to win it, is just a thrill.
Next level. Unfortunately, Lockie Blackwell came off with a sore calf there, folks. That was the player that came off with the injury in the last term. Good luck with his recovery over the off-season. But today, it is all about the Southern Storm. They run out under 14C grand final victors over the Claremont Bulldogs, 8-8-56 to 4-2-26. A 30-point margin in favour of the Storm. Congratulations to all of those involved. We might take a quick break here in the commentary position and go live to the presentation. So next game coming up here on Duff TV will be the under-14 girls on the live stream. Stick around and thanks for joining us.
Est. Patrons, welcome to today's first presentation of the 2019 CRIPPS STJFL Grand Finals. Commiserations to the Claremont Bulldogs. You fought out a really great game, boys. Hold your heads high, and well done to the Claremont boys. Congratulations to Southern Storm, come out victorious, had a really good year, and win the grand final today. So well done to the Southern Storm. Now I'd like to ask Mark Waddington, the coordinator of the umpires, to come forward to present the umpires' medallions.
Congratulations to both teams for the way the game was played today. Congratulations also to our umpires who for today is a culmination of their season's work. If I could just ask them to come forward, receive their medals. On the boundary, Jai Rees and Angus Percy. Thanks, boys. Well done. Our goal umpires for today, Rowan Cooper and Hugh Sansom. Our field umpires today, Emergency, Greg Barmer, Phil Geeson and John Hayes.
Once again, congratulations to our umpires today. Thank you guys, you did a really good job. I'd now like to call on the CEO of CRIPPS Bakery, our sponsor, Paul Godomsky, to make the presentation for a new award this season, which is called the Alex Godomsky Courage Medal. And that player is Jackson Thorpe from the Southern Storm. Paul. We now invite the coach of the Claremont team, Nathan Graham, to come forward and say a few words.
I'd just like to say thanks to Southern Storm. You've had a great year. You played well out here today, so well done on the grand final. So, as well, I'd like to thank our boys. We've had a tough year. We've come from last year to this year, so we've gone from bottom to top. So well done on our boys, and yeah, congratulations. So, like I said, well done, Wes, with the boys you've got. It's a tough gig, and you've pulled through really well today. So well done. Congratulations, boys. And just as well, thank both clubs. So the Claremont Football Club for us, for everything they do. Southern Storm for your club, for all your boys, and just thank the STJFL for everything they do for us and put on. So well done.
We'd now like to invite the coach of the Southern Storm, Wes Burgess, to come forward and say a few words. Thanks, Wes.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Claremont boys, for commiserations today. It's very competitive all year. Hey, sorry. Yeah, been very competitive all year, and it was great work. For our boys, it's friggin' perfect year, pretty much, and it was just great to do with you boys, and we're so proud of you for doing the way you do it, and it was from pre-season to now. It was just, I couldn't ask any more from you. Just like to thank the STJFL and all the sponsors, all the volunteers that help both these clubs going, and thank you.
And Paul Godomski will also present our best player on the ground medal, which goes to Southern Storm player Caleb Burgess.
Congratulations, mate. Well played.
We now invite the coach of Southern Storm, Wes, to call out the players to receive their premiership medallion, which will be presented by Paul Godomski.
Jack Holton. Right, mate. Roy Duggan. Right, mate. Good stuff. Dylan Paramore. Right, mate. Jezza. Good, mate. Well done. Dewey. Good, mate. Well done. Harry. Good, mate. Jack Walter. Good, mate. Jackson Thorpe. Good, mate. Good going. Louis. Good, mate. Ned. Good, mate. Cooper. Stuff, mate. Ty. Good, mate. Max. Good, mate. Zach. Good, mate. Ryan Jager. Good, mate. Jack Wallace. Good, mate. Broughton. Good, mate. Boom. Good, mate. Tommy. Good, mate. Alfie. Good, mate. And CJ. Good, mate. Stuff.
And the coach, Wes. Now invite Wes and the captain, Caleb, along to receive the Premiership Cup. 2019 CRIPPS STJFL Premiers Under 14C Southern Storm.
guys will get around us and we'll do the song. Sing the song, boys.